This is the third video about the Squier Bass VI. I'm still not completely happy with this, largely to do with the low E. Just seems too floppy. Still not intonating as well as I would like. It just doesn't feel solid, it doesn't have a lot of thump behind it. So, going through various websites and notice boards, a lot of people are using these labella strings for Bass 6 because the Fender Bass 6 strings still have quite a light E, as do I think the D'Addario strings. So these have a low string of 95. Now I'm not sure what's on here, but I'm guessing something around 80. You can have a look by measuring it. So, strings always seem to be a little thinner when you measure them than what they're supposed to do, but it says 82 here, which sounds about right for what people said came with these as standard. So it's a considerable jump up to a 95. Not sure if there'll be any issues. The nut is made for these particular strings. We just have a bit of a look. So I may need to do a bit of work on the nut to make them fit, but we shall see, and then we'll try it out, see what it sounds like compared to the other videos. Now I think while I'm here, I'm also going to give these frets a bit of a look at. If we zoom on in, you can see they're not the shiniest. They can do with a polish. And also while I'm there, I'm going to go along, check for any sort of slight, there you go, there's always one, slightly rough frets. This one's a rough fret here, so I'm going to sort that out with my bit of filing there. And while I'm also there, just for comfort, I think I'm going to just shape this nut a little bit. So it's rather squared off, so I might shape that a little bit. Okay, so strings off first. I've straightened the truss rod out on this, so the neck is dead straight, and I've just been checking it with this fret rocker. There's sort of a bit of, you can hear sometimes, there you go, perhaps not, it's okay. There you go. So not quite as even a height on the frets as I would like, so while the strings are off, I might as well sort that out. So I'm going to mask it up. Just do very, very gentle crown and very, very gentle stoning, and then crowning and rounding them off and polishing them. Sort out some of these fret ends. Okay, so it's taped off, and if you look, I've put permanent marker along each fret so I can make sure they're all being flatted the same amount. find the crowning a bit easier if I take the body off. So right now this is just the neck, and I can move it around a little bit easier and sort of hold it a bit better as well. And take my 3-point crowning file, 3-sided crowning file, and just round the edges over where I flatten them out. Actually, what I do before I crown them, just stop myself then before I got too carried away, is I put a black line down the middle. Hopefully you can see. That allows me to see that I'm not lowering the fret and having to level it again. So what I start off with is thick line here, and then when I've crowned it properly I should have a very thin line down the middle, but there still should be a line. So I've crowned them all now, so what you hopefully, it's pretty difficult to see in the slide, but where I had a thick black line down the middle, I've now got a thin black line. There you go, you can see there. I'll try and make it as straight as possible, but I don't want to take anything off the top. There is another rounding process to go, so it doesn't have to be completely rounded yet. The next step is to use 250 grit wet and dry paper. Dry and round them all over like that. Before I do that, what I'm going to do is have a look at some of these fret ends, make sure they're all comfortable, and I'll use my little fret end file from Crimson Guitars for that. So it's just a case of, difficult to show you, I'm holding this, but I'll go around the side of each fret and make them nice and smooth. Okay, so the ends are all neatened up, hopefully you can see. Still pretty rough and scratchy. I'm going to go over this with some 240 wet and dry, then 400, and then 600. So I'm just midway through using these fret polishing rubbers after the 600 grit. Let's see if you can see the difference on here. So I've got a finer rubber to go yet. I'll show you when I've done that. That's the ones I've rubbed so far. And these are the other ones you can see. These are quite dull and still quite scratchy. These ones are quite bright already. Hopefully you can see, going over it with the rubbers like that, it's pretty good shine. Now the final step is to use a bit of this. It's a chrome and metal cleaner. It comes in a tube, it's like a cream, just rub it into each fret and then it will be super shiny. Losing light a little bit, but you can see the shine you get with the Autosol. Those frets should feel really nice under the fingers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this masking tape off the nut and I'm going to round it off a little bit because I think it's a bit too square and sharp. So now the next back on the body, should be able to see the neck's been cleaned and now oiled, and the frets looking pretty good.